that's #1 in the Crown Royal World Standings right now. First to go tonight, though, is Mark Gomes. Lives in Hutchinson, Kansas. Will James, this is a bronze from Ike Sankey.
3 rounds he's placed in so far.
Well, Gomes has placed 3 times so far in the first 5 rounds. He's been riding quite well. As you see, Will James put the moves on him right there. He had some moves right out of there. He's won over 13,000 this week. And that's going to set the pace for Mark Gomes.
Guys, what kind of horses are out tonight?
Well, these are some horses that the guys ought to be able to show off on. These are some pretty nice ones. This one here looked like he bucked pretty hard, though, to me. He had that, kind of jumping side to side there when he started. And he looked a little stronger than what the rest of them ought to be.
And they're going to get Mark Gomes. That has to be one of the most consistent cowboys in rodeo history. Really, it expands beyond that. One of the most consistent cowboys in sports.
We have all these races in the end. Anyone that's competed here knows that there's half the rodeo done, but there's still 5 go-arounds, a chance to win, well, over $50,000 in go-around money alone, and Corey knows that too. Right now he sits number 3rd and 4th in the average. He's only won about $6,000 this week. But he is capable of winning 2 or 3 go-arounds in a row.
4 times he's finished as runner-up to the world champion. 1 gold buckle in his possession.
Well, Franco Gal is the name of this horse, comes from the Butler Brothers and Serby Rodeo Company. Corey just makes a solid ride. Excellent ride for Clint Corey.
Talking about some guys that haven't really got off to a real hot start in the first 5 rounds, those guys, they need to try to remember that it's like there's 5 really big rodeos left, and I think that's how they need to treat it. They need to treat it the same way as they have all year. It's like 5 rodeos that are bigger than anything they've been to all year.
78 the score for Clint Corey. First qualified ride of the go-around. Eric Mouton now gets set. And a little more than $22,000 so far. 3-way split for first in round #1. Here's a guy that's number 2 in the average and not out of the World Championship picture.
Oh, he's right in the middle of it. Number 2, he's just 1 point behind the leader, Marvin Garrett, and he's 5 points ahead of Clint Corey, who sits 3rd and 4th. And Eric has won already $22,000 this week, and he made a super ride. Now look at here, this horse really blew out of there. Good mark out for Mouton.
That Motown's a really nice horse, and for some reason here at the National Finals, he always wants to buck over there and get real close to the bucking chutes, and that can kind of mess a guy up because you're trying to spur up to that rigging and then explode.
He won $23,000 this week. He has ridden very, very well for a guy just a few months ago that had a broken bone in his neck.
Kelly Wardell gears up. Kelly, 34 years old. He's one of the late bloomers on the field.
He's been 82 and 81 of the best 6 scores.
Well, we're watching the bareback riding director, Kelly Wardell, getting ready down here in the chutes. We've talked about it when Bob Loeb came here.
We're
changing. This is Davy Shields Jr. That's where we're at. Skol's Big Question. That's the name of this horse. And Davy Shields, a Canadian champion a few years ago. First NFR, though, and I'm sure it won't be his last. He's been riding sore this week, but it really hasn't affected his riding ability at all. He finishes so strong each ride.
I think it really shows the toughness of these guys here. He tore his groin muscle about a month and a half ago, and you can tell he's in pain every night when he gets off, but he puts it aside for 8 seconds a night.
Second straight national finals for Kelly. 34 years old, travels with Clint Corey.
Now I can go through my bareback riding director. Kelly Wardell's the bareback riding director. He's the guy that is in charge of picking the horses for the national finals, and a lot of guys do it in different ways, but Kelly, I know, takes into consideration all the top 15 bareback riders and their opinions of these horses, because each horse doesn't fit everybody the same. He's done a great job, and he's had a good week so far. He's won a little over $5,000, riding very well. Pocahontas from the Roxor Rodeo Company, that's one that Well, if you're trying to be 83 points, might not be enough for us. There's Davey Shields Jr. in there at 81, and Cleve Schmidt sets number 4 at 77.
You know, in bareback riding, it's so important to have some control over your upper body and keep your upper body straight and square with the horse. Because if you don't, it's hard to keep your feet even. And you got judges on both sides of you. So you might be making a great ride on with one foot.
Ken Lensgrave now lives in South Dakota. It's a surprise. He's 15th in the world. He's 11th in the average. This is the cowboy that finished number 2 in the world standings in 1996.
Okay, Lensgrave is setting a position. He has not placed yet this week, so he's needing to wake up in these 5 rounds that are left. You know, another thing we talk about, and Ty talked about it last night, if you make a mistake on a rank horse, sometimes the judges don't dock you as much because the horse kind of caused it. But if you make a mistake on these nicer horses, they really get you, because as good as these guys ride, they shouldn't make mistakes on these type of horses. If it happens, they really nail you.
That's right.
81 the score for Ken Lensgrave. That's good enough right now to move him into a South Dakota cowboy who a year ago won the average and won the world championship, the first in his career. Of course, his brother Marvin is a 4-time world champion. Marvin's hot on the trail, world title number 5.
See all those slits he's made in his glove right there on his thumb and stuff? He's got slits all over that glove.
Garrett, South Dakota cowboy who a year ago won the average and won the world championship, the first in his career. Of course, his brother Marvin is a 4-time world champion. Marvin's hot on the trail, world title number 5.
See all those slits he's made in his glove right there on his thumb and stuff? He's got slits all over that glove. What it does is it helps you to shut your hand a little better. You can see how the front of this rigging really sets up high on the horse. That having it lifted up like that makes it easier to get up underneath your rigging and lift on your rigging and keep yourself pulled up there.
Mark Garrett, he's had a quiet week, a little over $900. The problem right there is put over that horse's neck. The horse Mindy comes from the Harper Morgan Rodeo Company. That horse is a little stronger than she looks, and if you spur over one's neck, it really gets you fouled up. Took him a few jumps to get recovered. Right there. See how it strung him out? It really fouled him up. It took him a while to come back.
$78,000 here in 10 days. Jeff Collins gets set now. Copenhagen Black Gold is the draw from Jay Barjay. Third national finals in 4 years for Jeff Collins.
How much? 21,000.
Collins has 2 zeros alongside his name for 2 go-rounds this week. But he's came right back and answered, placed on every other horse. He's won over $20,000. He is riding very, very well. You see the rope stayed on that horse. They had to tie the horse in, so the horse left with the rope on it. As Collins is showing why this guy is capable of winning a world title himself.
Well, that horse sure didn't buck like that horse normally does. And you know something else? It seems like at this rodeo, all the horses are so good that one that, you know, has a little bit of an off day like that, it really makes them look worse than they are. But, you know, it was still a really good horse. And I thought Jeff made a really good ride on the horse.
Eric Mouton still leads the go-around with an 83. Here's Wayne Herman, the world champion cowboy, won in 1992. Also won the NFR average in 1991.
Wayne Herman, you know, he's won the world. He's got a great track record riding bareback horses, and he's had adversity along the trail. I know over the last 8 or 9 years. But he just keeps coming right back to the top, and they say that the cream rises to the top, and he's a good example of it. He's an outstanding bareback rider.
He had a slow national finals last year, made about 12,000, only 10,000 so far here. Do doubts start to creep into your mind if you have a couple of bad years in a row here?
Well, yeah, you know, it seems like some guys will get off to a bad start here, and then they'll let it plague them.
Hadley talked about this guy at the top of the show. Marvin Garrett, number 5 in the world, but he's number 1 in the average. That average has become so important here at the National Finals Rodeo. In bareback riding, it pays about $33,500. That goes to the cowboy who has the most points on 10 head at the end of the finals. And it goes a long, long way in determining the world champion.
Marvin trails about $14,000, but he's number one in that average, and it's so important that he stays in there. And this guy, though, you know, he doesn't think in the average way. He goes for first every single time, and he'll be the first one to tell you, he'll just make his ride and let the chips fall where they may.
Larry Sandvik says he is a picture of consistency, and that's really his role model. As Larry has a lot of praise for Marvin Garrett, four-time world champion. You can see why he does.
Well, this horse, Jubilee, comes from the Ike Sankey Rodeo Company. Just a perfect kind of...
93 world champion Deb Greeno, red hot, been in the money for first here in the last two go-rounds, trying to make it 3 in a row.
Well, here's a horse that Clint Corey was 77 points on earlier. And Greeno, you know, he's just, you can tell, rodeo is much like any other sport. Momentum plays a part in it. Greeno has really got
that bicep of his riding arm. He tore that bicep, and it's a big bicep, but it's also a little bit deformed after that injury. Here's Larry Sandvik, KC, Wyoming, qualified for this national finals, number 2 in the world. He starts tonight, number 4, 5th and 6th in the average. It's going to be interesting to see how this national finals plays out for him over the next 5 rounds.
Well, he's got a horse that they say is in the tweed pin as far as the easy ones to ride. If you see that rigging on Larry, it's tipping from left to right, from left to right. That horse wasn't that easy to make a very strong ride on.
Yeah, that horse didn't look like he belonged in this pen too good.
Well, things hold up like they are right now. Deb Greeno probably will capture the top spot in the Crown Royal World Standings after tonight. But again, he's struggling in the average. Denny McClanahan, number 1 in Crown Royal World Standings coming into tonight. In fact, he's been number 1 through all 5 rounds so far. It's been tough. He's made $6,100, and he sits 7th and 8th in the average. He's got to turn things around if he's going to win the World Championship.
I like to watch Denny's hat. As the weight goes on, he crams it down on his head so hard every night. As the weight goes on, it starts looking more and more and more like a taco.
Well, you know what, Denny, on behalf of Denny, he hasn't had that many chances to place in the go-arounds. He's ridden quite well, in my opinion, and I think when he gets his chance, he's going to come and get him.
There's the dean of the PRCA stock contractors, Harry Vold. Guiding light, the draw for Denny McClanahan belongs to Harry Vold. 74 the score for Denny, so once again he's going to go back and regroup. 74 the score for Denny, so once again he's going to go back and regroup after the 6th go-around. His chances for a world championship are not out the window. Neither is this guy, as Eric Mouton wins the go-around with an 83.